Merry Christmas. We hope you guys had a great time with your family. We said, I think 2 videos ago, that once we reached 1,000 subscribers, we were going to give you guys a story time.
And now we're almost at 3,000.
No, we're at 3,000.
That's perfect.
We're so thankful for you all.
So our story time is going to be about when we first left.
Our first day out on the road and we got stuck.
Yeah.
So with our story time, we're going to be cooking French toast in the van for our Christmas breakfast. So we are excited to show you guys how we make French toast.
So what we're going to cook in is our 8-inch cooktop. It's all electric and runs off our solar system. So before we start cooking, I've got to turn our inverter on. There we go.
First, we're going to start with a 1/4 cup of half and half. And we have our lovely model Sean here to cook for us this Christmas morning. Right, then we put 2 eggs into our mix.
That it was a successful egg crack.
Seriously. All right, so then we're gonna put that vanilla extract in. Cinnamon thyme. Oh yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. It's looking beautiful. Oh. So for our bread, we like to use the Artisan Bread. This is where all the magic happens. Yes. Ooh. Go ahead, babe. Look at that. Alright, so as Sean finishes the rest of our French toast, we're going to start to get into our story time on how we got stuck in the desert our first day out. So it was April 10th of 2021. We were leaving from Sacramento because that's where we finished our build. Where were we heading?
We decided to head down to Las Vegas.
Yeah. When we first got there, we decided, like, okay, when we did our soft build, we didn't really do dispersed camping.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No, we did what, like campgrounds and rest areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did quite a few campgrounds that time.
Mm-hmm. We find this dispersed camping spot. I don't remember the name. We try to forget it sometimes because it's a little bit traumatic. We get out there, we're like, what, like the 3rd spot?
Yeah, we were like the 3rd spot in from the entrance, which normally we don't like going down dirt roads, but
no,
it was the 3rd spot in.
Yeah, like, all right, let's do it. There wasn't that many people out there. You have the guy who was next to us. He had a weight bench and it's a motorcycle. Okay, we're back. So he had a weight bench and a tent, and we're like, oh, this is cool. This might be a spot like nobody even knows about. Oh my God. Okay. I don't know what he's doing. Someone don't want y'all to hear this story. Okay, so we're thinking there's no chance that we can lose our spot because there's no one out there. The guy with he has a weight bench.
Yeah, he's been there a minute.
He's been there a minute. We're like, no one comes out here. It has to be fine. So we were out there. Was it past like the Red Rock?
Yeah,
or in that area?
Like 30 minutes past Red Rock.
So before we left, I was able to cut his hair. It was just perfect. We could not wait to come back there and go to sleep. So we went to go see his uncle.
So excited to be showing off the van for the first time to like people that didn't see it at all during the process.
Yeah, so we were extremely excited to see them and show them our van. So we were hanging out with my girlfriend until like, what time? Maybe about 8, right?
I'd say probably 8. It was dark.
Yeah, so it's getting dark. It's like 8 o'clock. And we decide we're gonna start heading back to the campground. We get over there. First of all, in the desert, it has to be like 30, 40 degrees.
Yeah, it went from the perfect temperature in the day, like mid-70s, to 35.
We are exhausted because when we finished our van build, it wasn't like we finished a couple of days before and we just got up that morning and left. We were still packing the van up. We were still trying to figure out like how we were going to organize it and everything else like that. And then we were like, oh, let's also go see people and visit family instead of like relaxing and taking it in. Oh, we were like, oh, let's just jump out into it. So at 8 o'clock, we were super exhausted. We get to the desert and we start driving and our 3rd spot is gone. Look to the right, full. Next spot over, gone. So we don't think like, when we came in, we saw trucks parked on the side of the road. That was a clue.
That was a clue.
That was a clue.
That's true. I forgot
that there was no spots inside. So we're sitting here like, but we decided to keep on driving and driving.
And there was no spot. The spots keep getting farther from each other. We hit like a crossroads in the dirt trail. It's like, oh, we could probably turn around here.
Based on how the rest of this story has been going, do you think we turned around? Nope. We ain't turned around.
We're too stubborn for that.
No, way too stubborn. I think this humbled us for sure. We get to a point where we see like this spot and it's like diagonal, right? So we're like, yeah, because we're tired and we just really want to stop. And the brush is closing in on us. So I will take responsibility for this today.
Okay.
I was like, let's turn the van around so that it's not like something for us to do in the morning. We decided to start turning the van around, not like realizing.
We're like 19.5 feet.
Right.
This road turned out to be about 19.5 feet wide.
So we started thinking that we can just start turning it, and you were driving first.
Yeah.
So he's driving, he's moving up, moving back, moving up, moving back, and we're like, somebody needs to be outside. So he gets out to check the front and the back to see how much room we have. We're lifted up, so in front of us was like this mound of like sand, so we could ride up that. But I started to drive, and he's telling me, you know, come back, go forward, okay, stop, okay, come back, stop. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I had to jump out the van.
I did not want her to see it. It was at that point, it was too late.
I was
just hoping we could get out of it. I did not want her to see the reality of the situation we were in quite yet.
The reality was that the back bumper was like right up against what we thought was like rocks at the time. But it turned out to be like sand,
Like
just
a little
hard.
embankment.
Yeah, like a little embankment. And we were like, okay, this is crazy. So I'm like, okay, we just have to keep going and figure it out, because if we keep staying here, like, we're heavy now. We could really just like get stuck.
Yeah.
We keep going back and forth trying to figure something out. Then we start to realize that our back wheel is spinning. We are stuck.
Yeah, it turned out to be the transmission tire.
Yes, turned out to be the transmission tire. We're stuck and trying to figure out, what do we do from here on?
No recovery tracks.
No recovery tracks. No recovery tracks.
Did we learn from this?
We're not going to talk about that. So, shortly after, these guys pull up and they are like, man, you guys are stuck. It's this guy and his Sprinter and his friend. Thank you guys if you ever see this video. They really came out there and tried their best to help us. So just so you know, this video is not to discourage anybody from van life or camping, dispersed camping or anything. Typically other people are out there and they can help you.
And they're more than willing.
Yeah, so he came out and he's like, you're stuck. And I'm like, we know, can you please help? So they start digging out our tire and they have you jump in the front.
Yeah, because I was initially trying to get on the phone with AAA. No luck. We were out of their range. They were digging out the tire while I was on the phone, and then once they kind of got it to a point where they thought we could possibly drive out of it, they had me hop in the driver's seat and attempt. Did not work. We only got deeper.
Yeah, it didn't work at all. And they were even pushing the van. They're on the back, I'm on the back. We're all pushing the van to try to help as he is preparing to drive. We do that, we get the wheel stuck deeper. So I jump in the van, dirt, dust all on me. I'm pulling out everything, all of our lights, any headlamps we have these lanterns that we'll link down below. We use those. The guys are digging again. So I grab our dustpan, which I will have to insert a clip of how that looks now. Since we didn't have a shovel, I grab our dustpan and start to dig up all of the sand and dirt, because at this point, I think our exhaust pipe was starting to get closer to the ground.
Oh, it was almost touching the ground. And like she said, we're jacked up a little bit, so that should never happen.
He's back on the phone with AAA. The guys are digging underneath the tire. I'm trying not to lose my mind. They get the tire out again, and now the guy is like, let me go to my Sprinter. He's like, let me see what I have inside.
He came back with like a 2x2 piece of wood.
Yes.
And we were like, where on earth did you get that piece of wood? He's like, oh, it's one of my shelves. We're like, what? what do you mean it's one of your shelves? And his friend's like, no, it's okay. He's got a bunch of them.
Now we want a van tour.
Shelves?
We need to understand what's happening and why you have so many shelves that you're just passing them out to people. So they get the shelf underneath the tire.
They dug and dug and dug until they got the shelf pretty much under the front of the tire.
Yeah.
So that hopefully once we started to turn the wheel, it would kind of kick under it and give it grip. Well, we tried the same system where they kind of rock the van.
Yep, we did that again.
I get in the front seat and we try and gas out of it. Well, we got the piece of wood sucked under the tire, but then it broke the piece of wood. Just completely shattered it, which makes sense.
Because that's what we were kind of expecting to happen.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting
but we were hoping as it happened, it would help us get out. And that did not happen.
It didn't let us dig any deeper though, which was kind of nice.
So as he's on the phone, the guys decide, like, you know, we all decided, like, that's about as much as they can help us with. Like, it's not going to happen. And we still thank you all because...
No, they were extremely helpful.
Yeah, they were extremely helpful. They wouldn't take any money or anything. We did not expect them to put as much time and effort into helping us get out as they did.
Yeah, not at all.
They leave and I am in the back, like, moving maybe like a foot of sand to give us some room. Because I'm like, even if the tow people come,
they're still not going to be able to just pull us out.
What were they telling you before?
Yeah, so I called maybe half a dozen places. If they were even a big enough company to have like a truck that can drive all the way out there,
right?
They didn't want to, or they didn't have one with enough pull to pull our van out. So I called AAA back. They ended up giving me a number for like the industrial tow trucks because I had basically gone through their whole list of other ones. This one company quoted us, I want to say it was about $200 an hour. And
$2 or $3.
$200 or $300 an hour. It required them to be paid from the time they leave their shop to get to us and then all the way back, which is a 2-hour drive one way. So that's about minimum 4 hours, more than likely 5 hours of labor.
Without us knowing how long it would take them to get us out.
Yeah, because it still could take more than an hour. So we're over here like,
well, when he first told me, I'm in this space of get her out by any means necessary. We have the money for emergencies. This is definitely an emergency. Yep. So I don't care how much it costs, tell them to come on, right? What time did they say they can come the next day?
7 a.m.
But at the time, again, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. We have the money. Just come. You know how you just start doing a chore and you just start to think about everything that's going on in your life? And you you start thinking about everything that's going on in your life, and you start doing math, and it's like, wait a minute, you just say 2 hours, about $300 an hour, coming and going back, then you're going to charge for labor, and we don't know how long that's going to take. Okay, no. Like, we're talking about $2,000 or so.
$1,500, $2,000.
Like $1,500 to $2,000. We don't know how long it's going to take. Yeah, so I'm adding another $500 just in case. He calls back. You cancel with them, and then you start calling around again.
Yeah. He's like, sorry, we can't come out there. Like, basically, we're closed. I'm like, we're blocking a road. Like, is there any way you can call somebody, see if they can come out? She has us send her pictures. She sent that over to her manager, and she got back to us pretty quick. Maybe really 10 minutes. Quick. She says, we can come out. We see it's an emergency, just send us your location.
We were definitely blessed to have service out there in the desert. So I told him, like, we have to dig more. Like, I had taken out maybe like a foot in the back, so we decided to go for the front of the van.
We get in our hands and bellies.
We were on our stomach.
We're just shoveling.
We even started grabbing rocks, and we're
like breaking up the dirt.
We're breaking up the dirt, which we were happy to find out that it wasn't as hard as we thought it was. So it was much easier to get it moved over. We did this until about 2:30 in the morning, and then our amazing tow truck driver, who we did not know was amazing when he first got there because he was kind of quiet. So it was like, this guy is pissed off because he's up at 2:30 in the morning having to come help these people who
got themselves stuck.
Who got
ourselves
stuck. It's not like
it was a car accident.
No, we got ourselves stuck being crazy, but
So he kind of gets out. It's like, okay, I'll be right back. He drives all the way back to that crossroad and then backs it all the way to us. He's like, all right, so I'm gonna take the tow hook I'm gonna put it underneath the front axle, and I'm basically gonna pull you guys sideways from the front.
Now, if
you're gonna drive out of it.
Right, and it's like if you've seen our second van tour, talked about the rust that we had. We're like, there's nothing we can say. Yeah. We know that it's, you know, a van. It's fine even if it's rusted, it's strong enough, but it's still scary with all that we did, all of the work that we did, the undercoating and everything, to have to hear like you're about to pull her from that area.
No, I was just kind of like, okay, let's do it, because I knew she was gonna freak out hearing that. So
I mean, I'm freaking out in my head, but I didn't like say anything. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can say.
It really was the only thing we could do.
He pulled you out. He had you start to back up, right?
Yeah, we first backed up because mostly her had cleared out that back embankment. We were able to pull the van back even a little bit more, which was great. And without the board, the shelf that the guys gave us,
yeah,
would not have had grip to even back up. It was like a culmination of everybody's efforts finally got us to the point where he was able to pull us out, and we drove kind of over the hill. We
couldn't believe it. It was incredible.
We had a whole job site set up with all our lanterns and
we had
power station lights.
Yes. My really good girlfriend, she gave her and her husband gave us the emergency kit set. Yep. And we used it right away. Like day one, we used that kit.
Seriously?
We had the triangles and everything. So when we were talking to them, we had no price on the service. So we had no idea. Like, we're just sitting in the car and he's in the window. He's starting to like loosen up a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
He's starting to talk to us a little more.
Well,
like,
he was probably waking up a little bit more throughout
after
the job. Yeah.
Now we're sitting here like waiting to see what the verdict is gonna be. So he got on the phone with his manager and he's like, yeah, okay, yep. It took like what did he say? Like
10 minutes. Like, it took like no time.
Like 10-15 minutes.
He told us it was gonna be like $300.
Yeah.
$300. So I'm over here handing him my card through the window, hands shaking, trying really hard not to be like, wow, the last guy quoted us
15. You get this man is talking about $300. Like, are you serious right now?
And he was fast.
So then after we pay, he goes, is this a van build in the back? What? He was actually interested in van life, and not only that, he had already bought a van.
Yeah, he already bought the van he was about to build out, and he was doing all the research already for it.
So we open the doors up, we start showing it to him. We talked to him to maybe about 4 a.m., 4:30, and then we followed him out just in case we needed him again.
Oh yeah, no, he started to pull out, and we were like, we need to go.
So that is our story time on how we got stuck in the desert, our first day out. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to show you our French toast. We're about to put some powdered sugar on it, and we're going to cut up our strawberries.
So we're going to eat, and if you want to know where we are for Christmas, check out the next video.